Have a quorum. Good job. Thanks, Jamie. We do have a quorum here, so we can get started. So I'm going to do introductions. I am Gretchen Young with the City of Rochester, and I am a voting member today. And I'll go down, we'll go this way. Let's go to Suzanne.
Suzanne Woodland, Deputy City Manager and Regulatory Counsel for the City of Portsmouth, and I will be the voting member today for Portsmouth.
Good afternoon, John Storr. What am I? Community Services Director, City of Dover, and I am Dover's voting member until our newest hire next to me is getting up to speed.
So yeah, Tim Paul, City of Dover, the new environmental program manager, project manager there, and I'm just here at my first meeting for man.
Great, welcome. Sally Sold, yes. And we've got a pretty small group. So we can go around and do intros. Kala?
Hi, everyone. Colin Mazzo from Prep.
All right, Steve?
Good afternoon, everyone. Steve Kuchar, DES.
Okay, and Stacy?
Hi, Stacy Villanueva from Branicola.
And Jamie?
Hi, Jamie McCarty, City of Portsmouth.
Great, thanks. Tom Swenson?
Hey everybody, Tom Swenson, NHDES.
Great, and Jim Steincross?
Jim Steincross, Rathian Pignatelli, the City of Rochester.
Thank you. Daniel McAdam?
Hi, Dan McAdam, UNH Stormwater Center.
Great, thanks. And Renee Bordeaux?
Renee Bordeaux with Geosyntec Consultants.
Thank you. All right, great. Our first order of business is going to be approval of both, well, we'll start with the June 6th meeting minutes.
I move to approve the minutes from June 6th.
Do I have a second?
Sure.
Thank you. Any discussion? Okay, all those in favor? Aye. Excellent. Then on to the August 15th meeting minutes.
Can I move those, please?
Go for it.
Second.
All right, moved by John, seconded by Suzanne. Any discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Excellent. All right, moving on to the adaptive management plan revision for 2024. I sent this out on last Thursday, so hopefully folks have had a chance to review. I have gotten one update since then. The city of Somersworth had made some revisions to the information that they had input into PTAP. It actually accepted the stuff. And while we don't submit Somersworth PTAP, we do submit that dashboard. And so there was a minor adjustment on that dashboard. So I'm going to update that that sheet in the appendix of the plan prior to submission. Other than that, I hadn't heard anything, but I would open it up to discussion.
Gretchen?
Yes.
This is Tom Swenson. I want to mention too that Rollinsford's PTAP annual report had been updated too. I don't know if it made it in, but I just wanted to mention that we ran it, or Daniel, I think it was last week or the beginning of this week. So I don't know if it made it in.
Rollinsford's too.
Yeah, I can send you, I was gonna bring that up, Tom. Yeah, Rollinsford's is not shown in here, so
Yeah.
I can give you their report if you want, Gretchen.
Nope, I'll get it digitally.
Okay.
So those will be the two modifications because we do submit on behalf of Rollinsford, so they will be included with PTAP. And that's great.
Gretchen, please reach out to me for the digital copies. I have everything up to date.
Great, thank you, Daniel. You may have sent it and it just wasn't on my radar. So but I will touch base with you and make sure I've got everything. I want to just highlight how great the folks running PTAP, Daniel, Jamie, and Sally have been being reactive to the comments that folks have had over the last few weeks to make sure what we're submitting is really outlining or showing the work that we've been doing. And I know Sally's been reaching out to communities like Rollinsford to really make sure that what they put in is showing up. So that was huge. Really appreciate
Tom
it.
Swenson.
And Tom Swenson.
Tom's been doing a lot of work to get
Thanks,
this
Tom.
stuff into it. Yay, Tom.
Great. Okay, other than PTAP entries, anything else? Okay. Then do we have a motion to submit with those updates?
So moved.
I'm sure a second.
All right. Any further discussion? All right, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Excellent. Good to go. Then I'll open it up for other business. I've got other business on here twice, but I'll keep it here. So, yeah, go ahead.
Oh, if you have something, I just, I think it's a good opportunity. Tim Poles is on board now in Dover as the new environmental projects manager. So I was trying to, in Cullen's on, he was able to attend the meeting at Prep last week, and Cullen, Tim and I are gonna have a chit chat about, Dover's continued involvement moving forward. I was trying to explain the evolution of MAM, and Suzanne knows I call it the Cool Kids Club. And I feel like we might wanna try to focus some one-on-one efforts to try to get Somersworth to the table, Durham, some of the ones that they're doing their own thing and they're doing good things, but I think we're missing the opportunity to unify and aggregate our donations, to put them to the best use. So I was trying to tell that to Tim on the way up, and he goes, yeah, it seems like, we have an opportunity for everybody to work together. And I think MAM is doing such good work, and we can show on paper what we're doing. It's like, hey, why don't you come aboard? And just the power of us all uniting with the common good and the work plans, it seems like the opportunity, whether it's just, one-on-one, like I volunteer to talk to Babinski and you talk to Rich Rain or April down in Durham or something, it feels like we ought to try to make a concerted effort to talk to some of these others.
That I will absolutely do that. I know that has been happening, various different ways. I know like Jamie Hool has been advocating in communities as well. But yes, I think it's a great opportunity to cycle back and just remind them that we are doing this collaborative work. So yeah, I'm happy to reach out to Durham. If it's new, I can we've got Newmarket, those are the big ones, Newmarket, Somersworth and Durham.
Yeah, because, oh gosh, this is embarrassing. The Newmarket engineer,
John
Lindsay.
Gregg.
no, Lindsay Butler is over
Oh,
there.
okay.
Yeah, I just, we met with Lindsay on a trash issue. She brought her public works director over and we were chit-chatting about things. I think she's been a great hire for Newmarket. And I kind of joked, it's like, when are you going to join MAM? And she goes, it's on the radar. So they're talking about it. I'll make a point. I owe Mike Babinski a call in Somersworth, so I'll try to bring it up with him.
Sounds good.
And certainly if there's, if there's anything I can do in the way of communication, particularly as, people change and need some of the history and, happy to do that. And, I was at the prep meeting, so I did kind of reach out and chatted with a few people, after the meeting, that Kala and his team posted. So
yeah,
certainly willing to follow up, particularly if we have new voices who perhaps, aren't so familiar with the history and where we'd like to go. Let me ask this. Are we all set in terms of, I noticed the water keeper is not on today, in terms of just any concerns or feedback that they might have had with regard to the adaptive management plan draft?
I have not heard any concerns or feedback from any of the stakeholders.
Okay.
We did have, we got, DES had some comments. I think we talked about them at the last meeting, but DES did have some comments, mostly having to do with the language, the way, having to do with what EPA had renamed the alternative TMDL. But no, I hadn't heard anything else back from them.
Okay.
But we have, I am talking to her regularly, so,
And I do
that
too. I
communication.
figured I'd ask
Yep.
while we were here to get it on the record that we are continuing that communication and taking feedback. So thank you.
for sure. So other business, we all know that the Eelgrass project has wrapped up recently. There's a so what report that's coming out. We'll be looking to prep and that team to see the final draft. Our technical advisors, Brown and Caldwell, did formulate some comments on behalf of us. They're comments that we've talked about at length over the past year or so plus. But if you want to reach out and see what those comments were, feel free to reach out to me. I can send you a copy of what the draft comments are, and then we will see that final report. Kala, do you know when that final report will be issued?
I believe it's going to be by within the next 3 weeks.
There you go. Great. And then other business that I think is worth mentioning is that UNH Stormwater Center has been such a support to all of our staff through years and years of MS4 compliance, and then stepped up hugely as part of the MAM. They're doing the PTAP for us, just helping us really think forward and doing practical approaches to the work that we're doing in compliance. And they have been selected by EPA as a regional excellence or something to that effect. And there is a ribbon cutting next Tuesday at the UNH at West Edge, UNH Stormwater Center to they've done some upgrades and sort of celebrate their distinction as a center of excellence. And so if you are interested in attending, I'll forward the invite to all of the folks that I have on MAM, but Rochester will have at least 1 or 2 people going. I believe Congressman Pappas is going to be there too, and some EPA folks and UNH leadership. So
Gretchen, is it the second you said?
I believe so, yeah.
Yeah, if you could please send that, and
will.
Portsmouth will try and send a representative, so.
Yeah, just to be supportive. I mean,
Yep.
they've been so great to us. So
Yeah, just a quick correction on the date. So it's Tuesday the 1st
Tuesday the 1st, I apologize.
at 10 o'clock.
Thank you.
Rain or shine?
Rain or shine.
Awesome. And that's all I've got. Any other business? All right, stakeholder comments. Hearing none, I'll open up to public comment. Nothing there. That was an error, so we've already done other business. So we'll talk about schedule for the next meeting and agenda items. So we're going to start talking about funding. Again, we can do late October or early November. Do you guys have a preference?
For me, preferably not the last week of October.
Let's do early November then.
Gretchen, for PTAP, would you want an estimate from?
Yes, please. Estimate for what you need, outline of what you're gonna do, and are we gonna be doing any so like we did with fertilizer and stuff like that? Do we want to try and do anything? And then I think you guys did that through prep last time. So however you want to do it, that's fine. And then I would ask Kala, you and your crew to work with Brennan Caldwell, like you have in the last several years.
Will do.
Yep, cool. And then so I'm not gonna, oh, I guess I can look at my phone, but let's just Thursdays.
Yeah, Thursdays are good, Gretchen. I know Suzanne said not the end of October. October
good on-
31 is a Thursday, then the 7 and 14 in November are Thursdays, and those are wide open. for me.
I'm good with November 7th.
Yeah, November 7 works well for me too. I want to give enough buffer that we're able to, we'll have a full, we have executive council.
Usually there's an
first.
executive meeting and then there's a full meeting, although,
Do them
we
back to
could
back,
do them
maybe.
back to back, or we could do them as one. I mean, if we can be efficient in the full meeting, the whole point of the executive meeting was to, the smaller group was if it became unwieldy, but I think we've been finding that
Yeah.
most people are showing up and it hasn't been that hard. So
All right, well, let's do that this year. We're gonna go to full meeting in November.
for recommendations
Yeah.
and then a final in December.
Yeah, and I mean, I'll try and get information out. If we had recommendations, would we be able to vote in November? Or do you think we have to have that second meeting again?
You know, I think if there's enough time, if people actually pay attention, you know, a lot of times we're looking, you know, to have questions answered and stuff
Yeah.
like that. I think if we can do it in one meeting, great.
Yeah.
If not, we have a buffer. You know, if there are too
Yeah.
many questions or we don't have consensus, we
Yeah.
can then schedule a second meeting.
Yeah.
Or we could put a second meeting on the calendar as hold if necessary.
Yeah. We're gonna shoot for November 7th and we will try and get everything, all the information out well in advance so that we can have good discussion. I don't see it being hugely different than what we've been doing over the last several years. So I think if we're comfortable, folks are comfortable, we can have a vote at that meeting. If not, we will schedule a follow-up for December at some point.
Yep.
So I feel good about
Time?
that.
Time that you're thinking
Uh,
about,
you know,
November 7th?
This 1 o'clock, and I'm happy to continue hosting, but if someone else wants to host,
This is working.
okay, all right, then we'll do in Rochester.
So Gretchen, when you say stuff to go out in advance, would that also include the PTAP budget? So when
Yes.
would you want that from us?
2 weeks ahead of
2
it
weeks.
would be good.
Okay.
And Culla and Brown and Caldwell, that is the biggest lift for you folks. And so, you know, ideally, I'd be able to get something from you mid-October. Some recommendations from Brown and Caldwell mid-October. So hopefully that will work with your schedule. Actually, don't see anyone from Brown and Caldwell anyway. Okay.
Stacy drop off.
No, I'm here. That works for us. Kyle, I'll reach out to schedule a meeting, maybe.
Sounds good. Thanks, Stacy.
All right. Anything else? Motion to adjourn?
So,
Go ahead.
So move.
Second.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a great afternoon.
Quick.
Yeah.
That was